These are the types of research: descriptive, historical, correlation, qualitative, true experimental, and quasi-experimental. Descriptive. Describe the characteristics of an existing phenomenon. An example could be a survey of how many people think Instagram is a good source of propaganda. Historical. Relate events that have occurred in the past to current events. An example could be, what is the probability that I get a good grade on the DELF French exam if 2 years ago I took classes? Correlation. Examine the relationship between variables. An example could be experiment of students that don't like the subject versus students that like the subject to see if it affects their grades. Qualitative. To examine human behavior and the social, cultural, and political context within which it occurs. An example could be study case analysis of a murder case. True experimental, to test for true cause and effect relationships. An example could be the effect on drugs as medicine on depression. Quasi-experimental, to test for causal relationships without having full control. An example could be INE carries out a survey on how many people are over 18 in Mexico.
These are the type of variables we can find: dependent, independent, control, extraneous, and moderator. Example: in a math classroom, the students were divided in different categories. Depending on their effort, each group will get different types of math problems to see if the effort they put will give better results or not. Dependent: a variable that is measured to see whether the treatment or manipulation of the independent variable had an effect. In other words, the outcome. Students are the dependent variable to see if the effort they put will give better results. Independent: a variable that is manipulated to examine its impact on the dependent variable. Types of math problems are the independent variables. Control: a variable that is related to the dependent variable, the influence of which needs to be removed. Number of students will be our control variable, because we shall not change the number. Extraneous: a variable that is related to the dependent variable or independent variable that is not part of the experiment and is a threat. A student that gets sick and doesn't attend to school is risky and threatening for the experiment because the control variable will change. Moderator: a variable that is related to the dependent variable or independent variable and has an impact on the dependent variable, also described as an interacting variable. Type of difficulty of the problems will be our moderator.
Created using Powtoon.